Welcome back to the Tech Talks Daily podcast, where I bring you insightful conversations with industry leaders discussing the latest trends, challenges and opportunities in technology and business. And today I'm thrilled to have Martin Tomes, VP of Market Readiness at Qlik, as our special guest. And his extensive experience in the world of data and analytics, I think he's the perfect guest to shed light on the current state of the industry, the value it brings to organisations, and where it's all heading. So today we'll be talking about the challenges and opportunities, and also hearing real-life customer stories about their data and analytics strategies. And of course we'll be exploring some of those common themes and trends that Martin is seeing and hearing from customers regarding how data analytics is helping them create new value for their organisations and helping them thrive in this period of uncertainty. So buckle up and hold on tight, because once again I'm going to beam your ears all the way to the show floor of QlikWorld here in Las Vegas, where Martin is waiting to share his knowledge and expertise, and together we can all discover more about the transformative potential of data-driven strategies. But enough from me. Let's get Martin on the podcast now. So a massive warm welcome to the show. Can you tell everyone listening a little about who you are and what you do?
My name is Martin Tomes. I work in the team called Market Readiness within Qlik. I've been at Qlik for 13 years, of which 12 of those years were pre-sales. But I've moved into a team which is called Market Readiness. And we look at the products that we build and what our customers want, and we try and marry those together so we get a happy marriage. So customers get what we build, and we are building what our customers want. Okay, and it's a very important role. It's a new role. It's been around, the 8 or 9 months kind of time frame, and we're kind of just accelerating with that. And we've had so many meetings here at QlikWorld to kind of understand, the customer's perspective. I've got a background of system integration. I've done data integration probably pretty much all through my life, but I've landed here on the analytics side of the house. And I have to admit, I love it, working every day here at Qlik.
And that new department, the new team and the new role, is that a result of how the landscape is evolving over the last few years?
Absolutely. The landscape's got far more complicated. Customers within Qlik can do such a variety of different things. Yeah, and it's very difficult to kind of get all of those things into the products organization. And, I've also got to enable the sales teams to understand some of these things. Yeah, so it's a kind of a balancing act. But the most important thing that we're trying to do is hear the voice of the customer. Yeah, and we've got this concept that we're starting to build out further, which is called co-create. And that is where we ask customers, what do you want? How do you use it? And then we start to turn them into a kind of a business plan and submit that into Qlik, and then hopefully we can deliver. And as James Fisher said on the keynote, kind of, you built it. We want to carry that on in spades, really.
And from my time here, obviously we're talking at QlikWorld, and my time here, there seems to be a real sense of community in everything from the teams, the partners, the luminaries, etc. So I'm curious, how would you describe QlikWorld to everyone listening around the world? And what do you most look forward to? What have you most enjoyed here as well?
Right. So to me, QlikWorld is it's almost like it's a school. Every day is a learning day. I hear new things from customers. The energy I get from hearing what customers do with our kind of product portfolio is just amazing. If I rewind kind of to pre-pandemic, and then you go through the pandemic, and then I first go on that train journey again, I was exhausted. Whatever it was about it, but when you come and speak to customers and hear how they use our product, it's simply it's like euphoria. It's pretty amazing. And I get that here at QlikWorld. I've been so lucky to have one-to-one meetings with some of our biggest customers and hear the new things that they are doing with our product. And the variety of those things is incredible. It's all the way from kind of procuring systems to, as it was on main stage, which was the providing kind of support for the Ukraines and providing the medical care for those kind of things. It's so wide. Yeah. So you just sometimes don't get that when you're in a remote situation here in an office. So to plonk me in the middle of customers and partners is just phenomenal. I think Qlik, I'm an ex-military person. camaraderie is something that's very difficult to find in the business world. But coming to Qlik, you've absolutely found that. And our community, certainly online, with partners and customers, I think is one of the best communities that any company could ever want.
Fantastic. And as you engage with customers regarding their data and analytics strategies here at QlikWorld, what are some of the most common challenges that everyone's facing right now? Are there any trends and the kind of things that they're coming and talking to you about? And ultimately, how are Qlik evolving and addressing these issues, turning them into opportunity?
Turning them into opportunities, yeah. So, one thing that I'm certainly hearing is, it's the foundation of how we're going to build everything on top of data. Yeah, to me, data is now at the heart of everything. Yeah, and you've got to trust that data. Yeah, so to me, the trend is around trusting that data. Yeah, because if you can't trust that data, anything you build on top of that, the old phrase of garbage in and garbage out is going to come very true very quickly. And my toes curl in my shoes if you think you're not trusting it and you're going to put a machine learning model on top of that. Oh my God, I don't know where that's going to kind of end up and go. So the first thing we've got to do is to get that data governed, controlled, cleaned, and then trusted. And Qlik have got the best tool set that we could possibly do to provide that layers. And obviously into the future, we're going to have by far the best kind of partnership with Talend and ourselves to be able to build on that and deliver that. So that's all the way from the bottom for where the data is, trusting it, governing it, putting it in a catalog, and then analytics or whatever it is you want on top of that. So to me, trust of that data is kind of one of the key messages I've heard.
It's so important, isn't it? Get it right from that very bottom. But as you said, you stop bringing machine learning into it, it's going to amplify the
garbage. It just amplifies it, yeah. Throws it out of all proportion.
And on the flip side, talking about the opportunities, what opportunities are customers discovering through the effective use of data and analytics in their business, and how is Qlik supporting them in realising those opportunities too?
Everybody discovers things in Qlik, and it's, the pre-pandemic and the post-pandemic world has kind of changed how people look at data. Yeah, I think I mentioned previously there that data is at the heart of everything. Yeah, but that has accelerated beyond all belief for me. Yeah, and the opportunity Qlik is helping everybody is looking forward. I think we use the phrase, can't drive a car by looking in the rear view mirror. That's a very common phrase that we use, and that is kind of static, dashboard looking backwards kind of thing. We've got to get to a point where we look forwards. Yeah, and us having AutoML come onto our platform and be able to start to look at some of these models and start to look forward and then act on it. That to me is opening avenues for customers. It's sometimes quite hard to believe that when you have a kind of a churn situation, you can look at the data, you can see the key metrics that would affect me leaving my mobile phone provider or changing satellite TV to cable TV or whatever it is, but they can analyze it and they can tweak it to help me try and stay. That's quite incredible for me to kind of think about that, look in the future, act on it, and try and protect their product, service, or whatever it is.
Incredibly cool. Just to bring to life everything we're talking about here, you don't have to mention any names, but are there any examples you can share of how Qlik has made a significant impact on an organisation's ability to drive better decision making all through data and analytics? Anything you can share around that?
Yes. So I think I've mentioned pandemic several times now, but we've got Qlik dashboards that kind of look at where PPE comes from, how much PPE is, and how the government can kind of make best decisions doing that. Now that's very poignant. Consider everything that's going on in the UK right now. And I remember when I joined Qlik, what was it, 2010, I think it was, that, we had an application, again, for our National Health Service, and it was from procurement. So it was they can buy, a latex glove from supplier A, B, C, or D, and there were different prices. And you could with our associative engine, you could easily see the cheapest gloves, the most expensive gloves, or the better suppliers, and things like that. And then you can make better decisions just to purchase particular equipment. And, as the economy is in the UK, any savings you can make for any organisation is pretty amazing.
Yeah, and it is that better decision making so important. So I'm curious, how is Qlik staying ahead of the curve in terms of innovation and addressing the ever-evolving needs of businesses in this space? I mean, watching the keynotes today, the ChatGPT thing seemed to excite a lot of people, but is there anything you could share out?
Yeah, so to me, if innovation, traditionally, if you rewind 20 years in a technology company, you would have an R&D department, and that research would kind of build things.
Yeah.
And Qlik has done that phenomenally well over our 30-year anniversary. Yeah, and one of the most recent ones I can call out is the Insight Advisor, where you can bring data into our analytics platform, and it will look at that data, and it will recommend the chart and the dimensions and measures automatically for you. To me, that's in-house innovation that has gone, phenomenally well. But the market moves unbelievably fast. Yeah, so you can't expect or put the pressure on every department to kind of keep up with that. So there's also, the ability to purchase, key niche areas and bring them into the product. And we purchased a company called Big Squid, which is our AutoML product, and we've integrated that into our product. And that has got phenomenal futures moving forward. Yeah, I think it's 2 out of 3 companies that are in our cloud platform are starting to use AI models. And that changed overnight. 2 years ago, everyone was hesitant, or AI and ML, that sounds a bit nervous. But now if you don't have AI or ML, you're going to be behind. Yeah, your competitors are going to be doing it. So if you don't have it, you're going to be behind before you know what's happening.
100%. And there also seems to be a lot of excitement around the planned acquisition of talent as well. Obviously,
absolutely.
What excites you about them?
So, I'll tell you a story here. So I had my boss phone me, and we were having a conversation, and then she said, look, we're going to start the process to look at and see if we could acquire talent. I then spoke for about 20 minutes about some of the possibilities that I saw of a combination between the 2 products. And obviously that got to Mike Capone, who then sent me a text. I said, I guess you're happy. Yeah. So to me, the bit that excites me the most, and it flies in the face of a little bit of Gartner telling us that, hey, we're focused on DI with the talent acquisition. And I've got this concept that if you draw a line across the middle of the page, and that's an X fabric. And below the line, you have data integration, the quality, the cleaning of it, the governing of it. And above that line, you have analytics, reporting, the productization of data, or whatever it is you want to do above that line. And if you can imagine a world where the analytics calls the fabric and says, hey, where's my data? It's over here, collects that data, and it analyzes it. Now, it sounds pretty simplistic in kind of concept, but now what that allows people to do, the IT teams can then say, okay, I'm in AWS here. Well, actually, I might want to move for Google. So they move to Google, but the fabric has got a pointer to that data. So the analytics goes, where's my data? Just happens to be over here now. Yeah, and returns it, and it goes. So it keeps and protects everything that business user has done, safe and sound, and it allows IT to optimize the world below that line. Yeah, so that means the business people can get on doing business, and IT and the technology is not interfering with what they're doing. And the IT teams can just optimize and streamline, cost-effective, any changes in vendors from Oracle to Snowflake, Snowflake to Oracle, whichever way you might want to go, it's protected from the business up, which I think is a phenomenal opportunity.
It's a huge leap forward, isn't it?
Yeah.
As an ex-IT guy, it seems like another world.
Yes, absolutely.
So what advice would you give to organisations looking to improve their strategies, especially to better leverage insights and drive growth? Because a lot of businesses now are forced to do more with less, and they're looking for that growth, that uncertainty. So anything around that?
Yeah, so you've used a word that we've used all the way through this QlikWorld session here, which is uncertainty. Yeah, and the world is very uncertain at this moment in time, and all companies are very, very nervous about what's going on. But the fundamental, how they can change and how can they start to be confident, is data. Yeah, once you've got that data, you've got to trust that data. We talked earlier about that's the first step, and that's the trend. And to me, that's one of the most important things you can do. And then you can build on that, on top of all of that kind of layers. Looking forward is the most key thing. I think I said it on the last one. If you're not doing it, you're gonna be behind. So for companies that can, proliferate, easy to use machine learning to business users, that they get the confidence and to trust in this, they're going to be ahead of the game. They're going to be able to optimize all sorts of processes. They're going to be able to kind of, cheaper products out there. They're going to be able to optimize, I keep thinking of optimizing processes, any kind of time saving you can do in any kind of process, whether it be a sales process, a customer success process behind the scenes, quote to cash, or it can be a supply chain. anything you can do around that through analytics and data, you're going to be onto a winner at that point. And any kind of cost savings you can then move to somewhere else. Maybe even better innovation moving forward.
Fantastic advice. And finally, looking forward, I can ask you to look into your virtual crystal ball here. How do you envision the data analytics landscape evolving in the coming years, and what role do you see Qlik playing in shaping that future of the industry?
Okay, so I'm going to try to miss out AI this time, because I am hammering it pretty hard here. But it is one of the big trends that we see. Moving to cloud is another trend that we see, and I'm insanely passionate about that. We used to have a phrase that sometimes we would speak to people, and they never will I ever move. Yeah, and now they want to move. It's absolutely flipped on its head. Yeah, so to me, moving forward, most people are going to be in the cloud at that point. All the data sovereignty and all those kind of things will eventually shrink. And, people will move to the cloud in a far more aggressive way. And Qlik is on board on that journey. We're cloud first, but not only cloud. That means we're on that parallel path with our customers to that point. So I see that growth going that way. The other key thing, as we talked about earlier, is we've got to keep innovating. Yeah. Got to keep innovating. Whether that's through, further acquisitions, or whether that's through the R&D team. You saw the integration with ChatGPT, which, as you say, kind of got a big round of applause there. It's working out how we apply that to real life. It's a language model on top of the internet, which you could say might be a little bit unreliable at times. But there are use cases that I can see that companies can use, and it's being very selfish now around the Qlik piece. And, sometimes analytics gets complicated. And a thought process around that would be basket analysis in a retail shop, comparing products in basket A to basket B on billions of transactions is very, very complicated. Within our product, we've got something called set analysis, and set analysis allows you to do that. But sometimes the syntax, like any syntax, even in Excel or any kind of coding, is a little bit complex. But ChatGPT kind of scanned the internet. It learned how to kind of do our syntax, and you can ask it in a nice natural language way to kind of build, what you want to do, measures by dimensions, by whatever term it might be, and it can generate that syntax. To me, that's a really good use of ChatGPT with Qlik. So, we've got to keep thinking about these things, keep innovating, even though ChatGPT is still on the hype, but, we are there. And we demonstrated it today. We are there, and we are looking at these things. And, long may it continue.
And a question I've got to ask before I let you go today is, on that plane ride, what are you going to be thinking about when you're reflecting on all the conversations you've had, all the keynotes you've attended? Is there anything that you're particularly thinking about on the way home?
Yeah, something that keeps springing to mind to me, as I said, I'm passionate about moving to SaaS. Yeah. And I'm going to take it on my shoulders here. We've got to make this so much easier for everybody. I'm sure it's the same in other organizations out there, but I'm going to try and take it on to see, how we can help people move to the cloud so much more easier. If I can do that, I feel pretty happy and proud about that. Certainly for our CEO. That's the thing that's kind of got me thinking as I go back. But my mind is spinning again about the variety that we have in our company and what customers build. It is quite astonishing. And, it's opened my mind again. We've really missed being in person and missed these events. Sometimes some of these things don't come across virtual or the best way that they should do. But I need to go back and kind of brain dump on everything and then read through all my notes. But everything I've seen here is that we've got a great step forward coming next. You heard from James Fisher on the stage where the product is going. Josh was demonstrating some of the future stuff. We've got to take customers on that journey with us and make sure they're equipped to solve the problems in the uncertain world that we're at.
That's a beautiful moment to end on. But before we do, for anyone listening, maybe they want to check out the keynotes in a few weeks because I think they're going online, or maybe they want to start a conversation with you guys. What's the best starting point for us?
So if they want to watch the keynotes, that's going to be on Qlik.com coming up after the event. I'm pretty sure we'll do a lot of social media on LinkedIn for that kind of thing. I'm pretty happy for people to email me, martin.toms@qlik.com, also on LinkedIn. And my team, and it's a wonderful team, collaborating with customers and the products organization. And that's marketreadiness@qlik.com.
So I'll add a few of those links to the show notes so people can find you all nice and easy. I know how busy you are, so just a big thank you for taking the time off the show floor and all those keynotes for chatting with me today. Thank you.
Thank you very much.
So a big thank you to Martin for taking the time to join us on the podcast today, share his valuable insights on the challenges, opportunities and trends that he's seeing in the world of data and analytics, and also for sharing some real-life examples that truly demonstrate the transformative potential of embracing data-driven strategies. But you've heard from me, you've heard from Martin. Now I want to throw the microphone over to you. Let me know any observations you've had, if anything resonated with you, if you've got any questions, anything you think we missed, anything you'd like to add to the conversation. As always, email me, techblogwriter@outlook.com. You can also get me on LinkedIn, Twitter, Instagram, @NeilCHughes. We can keep this conversation going. If you want to come on the show, again, let me know. But that's it for today, so a big thank you for listening as always, and until next time, don't be a stranger.